Good afternoon and welcome. This is Jeremy Murphy. I am a positivity coach, running coach and health coach in Lincoln, Nebraska, also creator of the Positivity Patrol. And welcome to episode 4 of 3 Feet from Gold. I'm joined by Ha Tran.
Good afternoon. My name is Ha Tran. I'm a navigational coach, a published author, and a motivational speaker. So I'm very happy to joining you on this project, Jeremy. 3 Feet from Gold. I just love it.
I do too. I would say it's my pleasure, and although I think it's more accurate to say it's our pleasure and something that we're really excited to share with our audience.
Yeah, I think that it is our pleasure because in terms of sharing, we also learn a few things ourselves. So thank you.
That's true. Okay, we have some preliminary housekeeping. I'm going to pop this into a square. We have a notice. We did obtain permission and consent by the Napoleon Hill Foundation to use the title of this blab and to cover this book. So here's the notice that they asked us to read. And also it refers you to the Napoleon Hill Foundation website. 3 Feet from Gold is used with the consent of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. However, the foundation has no control over and does not endorse the Blab IM platform or content. To learn more about the Napoleon Hill Foundation, go to naphill.org.
So on this episode, Jeremy, we're talking about outstanding. And can you share what is the outstanding topic is about? What is so outstanding about?
There are inspirational leaders and people who I would describe as extraordinary. People that go the extra mile, people that don't just do what is the call of duty or within their purview, but they look for how they can serve the world in a larger way, sometimes in a little bit of a disruptive way, to be a catalyst for change, to help people transform and improve their lives.
And, in that journey of Greg, he did meet 2 of the outstanding young women who is the recipient of the Toya Award. So can you, and then the way I noticed that Jeremy, because he has elevated his awareness. That's why he listened to it, and that's why he hear those 2 women talking about his hometown, and then he stepped into the conversation and what the lesson that is for him to learn.
Yes, Greg was actually eavesdropping, and it was the excitement of those 2 women talking about how wonderful that experience was to be selected in such a competitive contest. There are only 10 individuals that are recognized as Toya winners every year, the 10 outstanding young Americans. So it's not like someone from each state. It's someone from every 5 states. And maybe they'd be in the same state. I don't know. It would depend on the individual. But the point is, they're just wonderful people, and it's their excitement that gets Greg's attention. And
I think that he has elevated his awareness, and then he have a very selective hearing. He listened to the message, because if in the past, you don't think that something like that attracting to him or to have his ears perk up. But, it's just like the right time, the right moment. And that is when he eardropping to the conversation of this 2 women. It's so significant. Like you said, those are outstanding people. They are recognized that are a mover and achiever.
Right.
And I know that quite a few of the people have received this kind of awards, and something is somebody very renowned. Do you remember who are they?
Yes, they're really an incredible blend of people, ranging from people like John F. Kennedy to Gail Sayers, Gerald Ford, Elvis Presley, Dan Quayle, Anne Bancroft, Larry Holmes, or a couple others I might be forgetting. But I mean, that crosses through politics, sports, entertainment. And there are a couple of people that I didn't even recognize. I'd have to go look them up with their bios. But that's an incredible range of individuals right there to deal with.
And the two women that we're talking about, the one is Lauren Nelson, who is the Miss of America 2007. And
Yes.
the other is what is her name? Erin Gruwell.
Erin Gruwell, yes.
Yeah, who is the teacher, and and she have a very unique technique and the method that she have teach the school, and she have guide about 150 students writing the Freedom Writer Diary, and those they become a bestsellers, and I think that those books sell millions of copies in the United States.
Yes, and it's amazing. Once Erin started doing this, the children were so hungry for learning in that fashion. It became an immediate recipe for success that's being duplicated at every level of education now across the country. It's amazing.
If you have to talking about the children, Erin, have assisted you in what is the terminology that you are thinking of those kids that who are so fortunate rescued by Erin?
I would think of them as the down and out, the forgotten kids that are written off, disadvantaged. Just kids that other people aren't even giving the time of day to or listening to. And somehow Erin was able to recognize their individual greatness and help those children bring that out through their writing primarily, but through other ways also. And once that just caught fire, it spread, and these kids achieved incredible success. Once she started changing her classroom in this way, these kids just became achievers and really digging deep to find their greatness and their keys to success and working towards their dreams.
I'm looking forward to read the Freedom Writer the book, because that is the diary of each one of the children. They write their own story about from who they are and how their outlook to life, and it will be very interesting to follow up to see what has become of them in the future.
Yes. That's true. We have opportunities like that where you run into people and then you lose track of them. And it would be very interesting to see what type of success they achieved and what career path they took, what they're doing to improve the world.
I know that you have such a passion for teaching, not just because you are a teacher, but you are a long line of the family members who are educator. Yes, my mom was an elementary school teacher. My sister is still an elementary school teacher. My brother-in-law is a middle school teacher. So education runs in the family, and it's just something we're very passionate about. We're passionate about not only the education at a young level, but being lifelong learners, realizing even as adults, we should be learning something every single day, or we're missing out on an opportunity, a great opportunity. To change the 150 of the students to change their life, and especially change their mindset, I don't think that is a very easy job.
No.
Erin must be a very extraordinary person and a gifted teacher in order for her to navigate through all that.
Yes, and the amazing thing about these 150 kids in this first group that she did this writing project with, they all graduated. That's unprecedented.
Oh,
100% graduation rate is just, maybe it's possible, but it doesn't happen very often. It's just a remarkable story of success. And once she showed that, once those kids showed that her pouring support, love, and belief in them and their ability, once that happened and they came to believe that themselves, then they rose to their beyond their wildest dreams to graduate and to move on and be the successful people that they are today.
I have children, and I know that you have your daughters
Yes.
also. As a parent, we understand and we realize how important that is, the self-esteem of a young adult, young
Oh,
children.
yes.
And I mean, for them to know that they too can achieve a certain thing, and for them to have a different mindset and thinking about themselves. They are not the outsider. They are not born in the wrong track. Because have the teacher recognize that and nurture that and support them. I think that is. Those people will feel good about themselves because, for somebody just write you off thinking that you can mount to anything, and have a teacher who believe in them and just to give them the opportunity to be what they can be. I think that is phenomenal.
Yes, she recognized the seeds of greatness in these kids, and she watered those seeds and helped really inspire them to follow their dreams and to succeed in ways that they didn't think was possible. But she helped them think in different ways, and once they were able to do that and become more confident writers, you mentioned confidence. It's a key thing. And for kids growing up to lack that confidence, you just start to have fear and doubt conspire against us to really drag us down. Mm-hmm. And so that confidence, once that's restored and if it's cultivated and it develops, I mean, that's something we really need to be successful. You can't be successful without it. Do you agree?
Yes. And to hear you describe it, and I couldn't help it but to smile because, I wholeheartedly believe in those things, because, their young mind need to be nurtured, need to be cultivated. And so fortunate for them that to have a teacher that like Aaron. And I know that the book also, they made out to a movie. I think that the Freedom Rider, that is a movie, and Hilary Swan play Aaron, correct?
Yes, it was made into a movie. Also made into a best-selling book that sold more than 1 million copies. So her approach, succeeded in a best-selling book and in a pretty popular movie even within the education establishment.
Wow. And then that we're talking about Aaron, but I couldn't help it, but I have to share with you about Lauren Nelson. She is a Miss America in 2007. She is, her missions and her purpose is to protect kids online. And she recently teamed up with John Walsh on the Fox television's show, The Americans Most Wanted, to assist in apprehension, of the potential child predator. And I think that those people are, they are young people. I think that Aaron is about 29 years old, and I think Aaron about 40, mid 40. But those people, they have clearly understand the mission and their purpose, and they have the platform to do it as well. For Lawrence, who is a Miss America, that is the greatest platform there is for her to work on that. And because sometimes that our children, they are the most precious thing, and they are they need to protect it. And I couldn't help it but to head off to Aaron and to Lawrence just to protect them, and Aaron is to build them up. Do you know what a team is that?
Yes, and it's amazing how important children are in our lives. They're really our greatest treasures. And so anyone who recognizes that and can do anything to not only build kids up internally with their confidence, but also to protect them from people that might cause them harm. You mentioned predators and folks like that. That's becoming an increasingly common problem, especially with all these electronic platforms on top of all the other ways of people trying to prey on innocent children. So two very courageous individuals are encapsulated within this chapter.
Yeah, I really like this chapter for this two outstanding individual, and then for what their accomplishment, because when a lot of people have the ideas out there, but very few act toward what they believe or what they want to do. But these two young people really doing it. They believe in it. They have such a compassion for the younger children. And for Lauren Nelson, I think that it coming from her own childhood. At that one point that she was approached by the predator, and then she understands how terrified that is and what is the need for it. And I think that when she also worked at a decoy to go out there and to post it and try to catch the bad guys. So I think that is and it's for any age, but at the younger age, take a lot of courage to carry on what she is carrying on, because when you're not just doing thing, but then you are just facing the predator, and there is you can never know what they're going to do or something like that. And
very true.
Yeah.
Yes, you're risking your own safety, and you're risking your own safety to help who knows how many children, hundreds or thousands of children, to prevent them from being targeted in a similar way. So very, very courageous. And, these are people that go above and beyond the call of duty. They're extraordinary individuals in their own unique ways. And they help us realize that we all have that capacity if we can develop that inner strength and confidence and really be the type of leaders that these two wonderful women are.
Yeah. Jeremy, we're friends for a long time, long enough, that I am a firm believer in the benefit of the benefit. Can you imagine? Okay, let's go to a different directions. For one child, get in the situation that in the hand of the predator, the whole family upside down, the whole community turned upside down, for everything that the predator thinking that getting that child, but again affecting the whole dynamic of the whole community, family, and everybody, right?
Right.
And so for Aaron to save one child, she also have the same impact for that, the family, the whole community. It's just like if she saved 1,000 kids, that means she can impact millions of the people out there, because those 1,000 kids can grow up and to be somebody very significant. Might be a scientist, they might be a renowned doctor, or find some cure for something, because that is her impact is very significant.
That's true. She recognizes that these children will impact hundreds or thousands of people individually. And so, really being able to, um, I guess, save people at the youngest age possible. I mean, it's
Hmm.
easier, it's much easier to help kids at a young age while you still have a chance to make a valuable, you just have a bigger chance to make a valuable imprint. Trying to
Hmm.
approach people when we're a lot older, and it's harder to change our ways when we're older than it is for children to form good habits and to return to those good habits on a regular basis and to become leaders themselves that inspire other kids to be great leaders.
When when you said that, you see me smiling. The reason for that is just like, the Japanese, when they train the tree, the young tree, that they bend the shape whatever to whatever the type animal they want to,
Right.
because just like our kids, that the young mind easier for us to mold and to cultivate.
Very true.
So I think that is it is very, very important that you make the point that there's the young mind easy for us to make the to instill and to make the imprint and to make the impact. And can you imagine that 150 students that Aaron have impacted their life? And again, we're talking about, go further. 150 kids, it can be go down to millions of people and impact, a whole lot of, more community and more people, because now those kids, they believe in themselves. They have this, they raise self-esteem, and they have a confidence in their own ability. Those 150 kids can be a mover and shaker, and for that, they're changing their own life, the family of their own, their other significant, and the whole community. I just love it, because see, sometimes that we forget to see the impact of a little thing, a little gesture, because it go for far more than we want to recognize it.
Yes, that's really these children have an opportunity to affect many other people, and we need to really recognize how courageous it was to try to make a difference and to not give up on any of these kids. It's so easy, I think, for teachers, for anyone. We fall into the trap of putting people in categories, but we need to really recognize that everybody has the ability to succeed, and that if we can work together and not give up on anyone, we can help everyone get to the finish line. If they can find the right steps to do that and are open to it.
It also take a lot of patience too, though, because can you imagine to being a teacher of 150 kids that on the other side of the track, and they must be mad at the world, and they must be thinking that they get the end of the stick, and their frustration and their resentment must be uh, I don't think we're beginning to understand that. But for Aaron to really see the greatness in them, and then to be patient and to nurture that, and I think that wanting something to do it, but if and that you have the skill, the capability to do it is another thing.
Yes, that's it's easy to think that you can do this, but to do it on a daily basis and to not give up on any of these kids, that requires an extraordinary amount of patience. And some kids are troublemakers in the classroom, and Erin Gruel dealt with that a little bit. There was one kid trying to cause a little bit of trouble, but she didn't give up on that child. She realized that he was, being unfairly treated by his classmates, and really being able to recognize that these children can be developed, at the earliest stage possible, and that if they realize that they can succeed and start to succeed with some things, they can continue to succeed with bigger things.
So what we learn from that is you recognize it. You have to really place a. You must have a compassion. You must have, because you can look into the eyes of a child and you can see the hidden pain or suffer, and for you just to pull them out of that, it take a compassion and take patience and a lot of work. And I believe that Hillary Clinton wrote the book that Take a Village to Raise a Child. Mm-hmm. And I didn't read much about Erin and on her journey, but I hope that she also have support. I hope that somebody really support her on this journey. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I think it's just extraordinary to me that Erin, she suffered from the Ku Klux Klan was contacting them and threatening them. The FBI was investigating the book being written about her classroom, and she was able to set all of that aside and rise above it, to rise above the chaos and controversy that we face on a daily basis. And that's really tough to be able to do that. But she had to have people behind her, and I don't know a lot about who they would be, but I think it's just amazing the obstacles that Erin encountered are way beyond what a lot of us would handle. I think a lot of us would just say, forget it. If we're getting death threats and things like that, that's just, that's not something that many of us deal with, and hopefully none of us have to deal with.
I think that both Erin and Nelson, I'm classify them as a group of the rising strong women.
Yes.
Who understand their mission and their purpose, and they rise above all in order for them to achieve what they achieve. Because, to get to where they are, it's not a stroll in the park. It must be True. A journey that they have to fight every step of the way. We acknowledge that, and we recognize that it is not an easy job, but somebody get it done, and they certainly get it done. And, I hope that people, including ourselves, that, there is a thing we can do. Maybe we cannot do on the larger scale as they are, but we certainly can do what we can in our community, in our own family, because the rising strong is the part of, to lift others up, when they are down and out.
Yes. And a rising tide lifts all boats. And I think
Yes.
that's something that I think that's something that both of these people recognized that they could do, that they could raise the ability for success for everyone by creating a safe, friendly environment that's supportive and strengthening, really helping. We all have to strengthen ourselves inside and outside. And I think both of these people really did that with the work that they did.
So they must know their mission, they know their purpose, and they never let
Yes.
up. And because that is, with their accomplishment, we know that they never let go. So Jeremy, next week on the episode number 5, what are we? What is it that we are talking about?
Let's see. Episode 5 is going to be covering chapter 6 and 7 of 3 Feet from Gold. Chapter 6 is formulating success, and the other chapter is on passion. So It's starting to get back into the success formula that we talked about at the beginning. We're starting to get into the nitty-gritty principles that are built into that success formula next week.
That's great. So I'm looking forward that we are, on the episode number 5, and we were talking the formula of success, and yeah, I think that they're very very exciting because that is what we are. We will start to unfold. It's just like mathematics. There is a formula, and everything stands for. Every letter represents something. So.
Yes. Mathematical
Okay.
equation for success.
There you go. And the math is just so right, because you cannot, because 2 plus 2 equal to 4, there is never 2 plus 2 equal to 5. So, I mean, I think that the formula is there. And then to most of us, if we want to apply it, I think that we will, too, will find our way to success.
Yes.
So, Jeremy, it was a great, interesting talk, and I'm so glad that we have the time to talking about the outstanding, and we talking about the two significant, two phenomenal women. That's what I'm talking about, the differences between the 3 feet from gold and the Think and Grow Rich, because now we are bring into the woman perspective, because that is very, very exciting.
Yes, Napoleon Hill really missed an opportunity. He could have dealt with women like Susan B. Anthony and people like that, and he didn't do that. And so Greg Reed and Sharon Lechter have fixed that through some of this book. But I think of people like that too, that stood up for women's suffrage. And as a father of a daughter, you want your children to really reach for the stars and to know that anything is possible if they can simply apply themselves and work on achieving their dreams.
I know that your daughter Cece, her role model, or perhaps somebody she thinks highly of, that JF Kennedy.
That's correct. That's her favorite president.
Okay, whatever that is, in her own study, in her
Right.
own understanding, and she found that JF Kennedy is her favorite president. I'm very pleased to hear that.
I was too. I was surprised to see his birthday in our family calendar, though, but I understand the reason why.
Okay, that's good. Because even that you want to be a role model. Both you and your
Right.
wife want to be a model for your daughter. But again, and she have to seek out for somebody else, because she have her own passion and she know what she want to do. And like, let's say if we have a woman who is a woman president, and other girls, when they grow up, they will just say, I too can be the president of the United States of America. But so far that we don't have that role model, we're also looking at all the men at the in the higher office. So I think it is very very excited. And
Yes, it'll happen someday, Ha. I don't know when, but it will happen.
yeah, but again, I just want to have my granddaughters or your daughter will have the opportunity to see that everything is possible.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
and I think that the role model, sometimes parents think that, oh, I'm your parent, I'm supposed to be your role model. No, but if you are if your daughter want to be a surgeon, and she might want to looking up and to find a surgeon, and then all the scientists out there, there's their work that she admire, and she want to use them as her role model. It doesn't mean that you are no longer needed. No, you are plays a very important role. You will teach her to be a whatever good parent. Let me tell you, my father always said to me, when you are a parent of someone, you parent them from the day you give birth to them until the day you die. And I
True.
live by those words. I raise my children. I love my children, and I just according to my father, I take my role very very seriously.
Yes, we all need role models that inspire us, and some of those might be different people, but we have to find who those people are. And I think if we do, and they help us kind of build up this inner fire to succeed, I think we all have a better chance of succeeding and helping others to succeed too.
Yeah. So hey, Jamie, you want to take up the recording, and maybe we can invite Jean. It's she is our guest today, and maybe if she have some comments or some question for us.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Do you have any closing thoughts about this chapter, Ha, or have we covered that already from your perspective?
We already covered, but again, what I'm saying is this book is a parallel to the Think and Grow Rich, but this book is for this generations because we have so many of rising strong women. And the Think and Grow Rich, at one point, it was a big boy club. And, having said that, it doesn't mean that I say anything negative about that. But because the study Napoleon Hill have done that based on all the men in power. But now they go into, whether in the highest office or the woman just like Aaron and Lawrence who make the difference, make the impact in our generations. Because they are the people, they devoted their life to protect and to build our children, the young mind of the younger generations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would say, just in closing, I think it was Lauren Nelson made the point that we need to focus on on the goal and not get sidetracked by the obstacles or by multitasking, trying to focus on the wrong things. We need to focus on the final goals. So if we're skiing, we want to focus on getting all the way down the mountain safely, getting back up to the clubhouse for some hot chocolate.
And then I love one of the Aaron's quote here, and she said, "Goal just an aspirations. That is their desire, their wanting to do. But when we get to our goal, you get to our destination, there is come with a set of responsibility. Because just like God or your creator giving you the talent or the something that for you to have, it always comes with responsibility. If you have your gift and your talent, that is your responsibility to serve.
Right. Well put.
Okay. So let's close it, and we want to see if Jean have any question for us.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week for episode 5, Formulating Success and Passion. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.